there was no payoff for spiritual disciplines. I couldn't stay focused doing them. There was no pleasure in doing them. So eventually I stopped doing them. Now we can start being like, am I even a Christian anymore? Like, I don't go to church, I'm not involved in a life group, I don't read my Bible, I don't pray. And on the surface, we look at it, we'd probably go, yeah, like, you're not bearing fruit. And then we're like, well, I'm not bearing fruit, then fine, this is a joke and I'm out, right?
So, Rob, what are some of the signs that we're going through the dark night of the soul? Like, what are some things that, if a Christian, is struggling and kind of feeling something, like you might just be in a period of desolation, but how is the dark night of the soul different?
I would say number one, like, to know you're going through dark night of the soul is that you're going to find it difficult to stay focused during times of you're doing spiritual disciplines. And so that remember, he's taken away that consolation, that the spiritual pleasure that we get from reading God's word. And we get to see ourselves like how we really are so that we can enter into weakness with him, that in my weakness, he's made strong. And so, man, I'm not going to want to go to church. I'm not going to want to read the Bible. I don't want to sing. I don't want to listen to the worship music. I don't want to confess my sins. Anything that can be put on or taken off in our life can be a spiritual discipline. And we don't want to do any of that. We don't want to focus on those things. And so if we find it difficult to stay focused during those times, that might be a sign that we're in a dark night of the soul. If we stay focused, we're also going to find like we don't even want to do those things. And this is the like Righteous Brothers, hard to bring back that love and feeling, right? Top Gun's all of the rage anymore, So made that song even more popular than it already was, right? And so you'll just stop. You'll stop doing them because there's no payoff. Like, we read the Bible because we're like, oh, God felt close, and I felt like I could go live that out and do that. And now you're going to read it and be like, is that real? Did that really happen? Oh, this is stupid. And so we're going to say, I'm not even going to do spiritual disciplines anymore. But I think the key here to find out, because now we could be like, all right, there was no payoff for spiritual disciplines. I couldn't stay focused doing them. There was no pleasure in doing them. So eventually I stopped doing them. Now we can start being like, am I even a Christian anymore? Like, I don't go to church, I'm not involved in a life group, I don't read my Bible, I don't pray. And on the surface, we look at it, we'd probably go, yeah, like, you're not bearing fruit. And then we're like, well, I'm not bearing fruit, then fine, this is a joke and I'm out, right? And so, and this is where I talk a lot about, like, I think a lot of people cut themselves off at the knees right here because they think, oh, I've just walked away from the faith. God's not real, he's not moving. And this is a problem because I think a lot of deconstruction takes place right here at this moment rather than holding on and seeing what God's doing. And so the key indicator, like for me, when I was going through a 7-year period that was of desolation, through those times, like, the key I would tell you to hold on to is, like, you still care. You still care. You're worried about this. Like, there's actually like a spiritual anxiety in you about this, that you want the Lord, but you're thinking like, what's wrong with me? Am I backsliding? God, where's the evidence that you exist? Like, you're trying to figure all this out. And that's really, to me, a really huge hinge moment on this, is that you still care and that God is doing something in that moment.
Yeah, for me, I definitely still cared. It wasn't anxiety so much as it was frustration.
Yeah.
I was very frustrated. Just like, I didn't feel anything. Like, going to worship, didn't feel it. Praying, didn't feel it. Whatever it was I was trying to do, just didn't feel it.
Yeah.
But, just like you were saying earlier, I could go out and hang out with friends, go out to dinner, do whatever, and it felt fine.
Yeah.
But anything spiritual just was just like, felt belabored.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have like spiritual anxiety that leads to like spiritual frustration you had, or, spiritual, that leads to like spiritual anger, right? That really, it brings up like, God, why aren't you working? And he's not doing what we feel like he should, that he's not working the way that we think he should. In this, we're like, man, we can think like, I'm making this work. I'm actually making this work, but we never made it work to begin with. So there's a lot of temptations that come up in this.